I was wrong in doing what I did.
No, no! No! Are you listening?
Sean here, and one of the most overused tropes in TV history is the secret evil twin. And I wonder what it would be like if Lorne had a secret evil twin. But let's pretend it's not evil, because Lorne would be the evil of the two twins. This would be a twin that was successful, had a wife, 2 kids, a decent house, a nice business, was making a good living, dressed nice, kept himself in relatively good shape, but we'll say for the sake of argument, he's still bald, still shaped like Humpty Dumpty, because I'm certain that his mom, when Lorne was born, she said, "I thought I felt 2 turds come out my anus, but looks like only one of them's in the toilet." And that would be Lorne. That's the one that left. You know, the one that was left in there, not the one that got flushed out. Sitting on my ass on my toilet. Lorne would struggle right off the bat. Let's talk about the obvious. As Ramona said to Lorne, he's everything that you're not and could never be when she was talking about the doctor. Lorne's mom would be looking at a face that she associates with her loser of a son. Except this time, it's got nice clothes on, it's attached to a wife, 2 kids, everything she could have ever dreamed of that her loser-ass Lorne Armstrong's son could never make happen. He sustained himself. He had a good life, food, worked out, had a decent car. All of this stuff it'd be really weird for her, because her whole life she had looked at that face and seen Lorne and what came with Lorne every time he came over there, the hurricane of shit that she had to deal with. But this time, he's a good guy. Lorne would freak out, because for his mom, he would know, I've got my mom now because I'm her only son, I'm her only Lorne. But if there's competition, oh my God, someone that looked like him, someone who had a good job and all that I said, he would freak out. Don't you be calling her mom now. And he'd be hovering around her, holding onto her arm, just like he was 2 years old. Mom, look at me, mom, mom. Doing everything he could to run interference so that this other version of him didn't impress his mom at all. As soon as that other version left, he would be telling his mom, "Oh, you don't have any idea you should have heard what he was saying. Oh, he was telling me his business was actually failing, and his wife, she's just a bitch." And he would be saying negative things. I remember after a Taekwondo testing, there was a guy, really good, younger guy, sharp-looking guy, just a stud athletically. Did a great form, looked great, passed his testing, 3rd degree with flying colors. And someone in the car, after this almost perfect testing, this dream testing for somebody, started knocking him. We thought it was a joke at first, but given who it came from, we understood. He wanted nothing more than the chief instructor's absolute attention at all times, needed positive reinforcement at all times, and that's Lorne. So there's no way he could let this twin come into his life and talk to his mom without him being there. Now, imagine you're Roy. You probably think this was freaking hilarious. I can just see Roy just laughing hysterically at this whole situation and the fact that there were 2 Lornes and him questioning whether or not he was high or drunk at the time. But one of the real truths that would come out of this is that this guy would show up to meet his long-lost brother, who he hoped more than anything else would be like him. They would have something in common. There would be a bond. Maybe he would feel whole again, because when you're adopted, I felt like I was empty at some points. Even if I had all the love in the world, I felt like I don't even know where I come from. I have no idea what any kind of health issues or anything else. It's so hard to explain, but you can imagine, right? You can imagine. One of the first questions he's going to ask Lorne, of course, is, hey man, what do you do for a living? Well, I used to drive truck, had a cooking show. You can hear him build a cooking show, workout show on YouTube. He would dance around it all. And finally, when there was nothing else to talk about, the whole NBC debacle would come out. Lorne would strategically blurt it out when he thought it was the best time, in front of his wife, in front of his kids, to the shock and horror of them all, that they are sitting in the trailer of a sex offender without having been told beforehand. Now, chances are, because I did my research and I found a half-brother, half-sister, whatever. My father, according to my biological mother, was legitimately like Satan come to earth. I'm not joking. And my mom would have probably thought my adopted mom probably would have thought that was true, but the father that's listed on the birth certificate, he was kind of the stud of the town. There were quite a few half-sisters, half-brothers I found. And one of them from the mom looked like me. So I was very interested in what was life like. What are they like? What's this? What's that? Again, my medical history. Do I have heart problems or cancer or do gout or anything? Is there anything I should know about? Is there something? What did my grandparents do? He's going to have all of these questions that he's going to want to ask Lorne. Even if he didn't know he was a sex offender, Lorne is going to dismiss all of those questions. And you know this, man. He's going to dismiss all of those questions and try to bring the topic back to him. Try to bring the attention back to Lorne Lynn Armstrong about how he used to own his own business and went down to Nashville. Everything he talks about is these romantic notions. Went and made my big shot down in Nashville. Well, what'd you do, Lorne? Oh, I found a karaoke bar to go drinking. And I was just hoping a producer would come in and see my balding head and big fat belly and weird pubic hair and misshapen body and these mongoloid eyes and say, damn, boys, right there, that's the next Kenny Chesney. Had my own business. I was king of the world. Then, and here comes a sob story about blah, blah, blah. Nobody cared about me. I was catfished by this woman named Amanda James. He has nothing else to talk about. What's he going to say? As I always say, because he says it multiple times in different calls. Well, today, I took some dirt over here, moved some dirt over there. So his twin is not getting any information from him at all. Nothing pertinent. They came up to Maine. If I'm going to go up to Maine, maybe I should make a trip of it. Let's go see wherever. We were going to head up to Bangor, Maine, or Portland, or wherever they were going to go. And here's Lorne. Well, I could show you around. No, that's okay. Well, come on, it'll be a good bonding thing. And I got some tank tops in there that might fit you if you need them. No, that's okay. Nothing to touch your skin. I'm sorry, what was that? Don't worry about it. But Lorne would throw himself in there. Let me take you around. I'm your Uncle Lorne. Oh, gross. He would tell those kids immediately. Not, hey, I know I just came into your life. It's very nice to meet you. Let's take it slow. No. It's, I'm Uncle Lorne. He'd say, I could show you some sights around here. I mean, imagine. Over here, that's the school I grew up in right there. And that's my old aunt's house. And I know you want to go up there. You want to see the overlook and everything else. But let me take you down here. See that house down there by the lake? I know two guys who worked on that. Ain't that a pretty house? That's great, Lorne. What are we gonna see? Real sights, man. What do you mean real sights? This is history. And I have this feeling that the conversation would go to sex immediately. Like he'd be trying to talk about sex, trying to brag, because his brother definitely got laid if he had kids. Definitely. Especially if they look like him. Definitely got laid. So Lorne already resents him for that, because he hasn't had sex. So he probably already resents his evil his good twin, and he's the evil twin. He probably already resents his twin brother for the fact that he's had sex. Now Lorne would overcompensate. Yeah, I've had plenty of girlfriends, and I was down there. I was just moving my tongue around. They were flopping like a dead fish, and hopefully, if his brother was worth anything, he would have a conversation like we would to Lorne. Listen, Lorne, it takes lots and lots of practice to be able to get a woman from 0 to 100 in a short amount of time. And women don't flop around like a fish unless they're being exercised. You mean if they're doing like Tybo? No, Lorne, exercise, you just forget it. But I could see Lorne trying to talk a bunch of shacks, trying to say it loud enough maybe his wife would hear it, because you know what Lorne would be thinking. You know what he'd be thinking in that moment. Well, if she's attracted to him, she's attracted to me. If she would marry him, she'll marry me. So all I gotta do is figure out how to get her outside with me and initiate sex, because he would probably see that as a green light, as a pass that says, hey man, if you want to have sex, you can, because you look just like that other guy. My grandmother was a twin. I may have mentioned this. And they used to play a joke. When they would go out on a date, they would dress up like the other one and switch. Because back then when you went out on a date, holding hands, boom, instantly you're pregnant. But back then, they'd go on these harmless dates because they wanted to go see, if there was a certain movie, they'd switch. One of them wanted to go see a certain movie. If they wanted to go to this place and have ice cream, if one of them didn't like it, they'd switch. And these guys would be none the wiser. None the wiser. Now, one of them was more country, and the other one was more rock and roll. No, the other one was more girly girl. They were both very concerned with their appearances. Always dressed nice. But Evelyn, she was the queen, and my grandmother, Noreen, she was 78 years old, up in the attic. I know I'm getting off on a tangent, just bear with me. 78 years old, up in the attic, moving 50-pound bags of sand and her to back. I mean, they were just made different back then. But they would play jokes. But there wasn't any sex involved. Lorne would somehow immediately go to sex and be thinking, how can I trick this woman? Here, change it in my clothes. I got some clothes in here you can wear. When he takes off his clothes, Lorne puts them on and tries to go over and hump this woman. We're talking about a sexual deviant here. It's disturbing. Because Lorne would probably plan it for the middle of the night when she's not fully awake. I'm not really sure how he would do it, but he would try. And God Almighty, going into the daughter's room dressed like the dad. I need you to come with me, sweetheart. Think about that. I'm 50-50 on whether he would do it. It depends on whether or not his twin is a beta, like him. If his twin is a Chad, he's terrified. If he's a beta, he might do it. I'm sure that'll ignite comments that I'm way off, but we're talking about Lorne and how desperate he is. And we know how he likes to take advantage of a situation, and he likes victims. If he found out that guy's wife was some kind of assault victim or any kind of victim, he would try to prey on that. He looks for any sign of weakness. If he detects it, he's going after it. We know he liked that people were in rehab. We know he liked that about them. If he found out his wife was a recovering alcoholic, Lorne's ass would be out going and getting beer. Now that's a hypothetical scenario in itself. Now the joke has always been, if a clone of you showed up, you two would be banging each other. You know, narcissism, ego. I mean, shit, there are videos out there now of real brothers, real twin brothers and real twin sisters in porn videos. And the headlines, you know, occasionally they'll pop up and be like, criticism or controversy and just weird shit, man. This world is weird. But I can't say, if my twin didn't show up and he wasn't like dressed, you know, passable woman that I would. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, but you know the joke, right? Brian Griffin on on Family Guy was banging his clone. I don't think that would be happening. Lorne would probably look at that guy and go, he's ugly. And look at himself and say, yeah, I'm the better looking one. They would be looking for a way out of there, trying to escape. Well, we got to go. We're going to go eat. Well, I'll come with you. I'll come with you. You can see he is going to do anything he can to keep money and vagina in the house. And as gross as it is, there would be two vaginas in his eyes, daughter and mom. He would do anything he could. Well, y'all should stay with me. No way anybody's staying in his fucking trailer. Y'all should stay with me. No, we got a hotel room. Well, I'll come visit y'all. I can stay over there. He would want to attach himself. And I still think his main concern would be that his twin, his mom would love that twin more. His mom would die happy, finally seeing a son that looks like a piece of shit garbage kid, Lorne Armstrong. But this time, like it was the multiverse version. This one was successful. This one's business worked out. This one didn't try to diddle a kid. This one doesn't have any drama, is not borrowing her money. As a matter of fact, before he left, he offered to pay for the food and for everything else, and left her money, slipped it under her pillow, without her knowing, like my Uncle Johnny used to do, which used to drive my dad crazy. Everything she could ever want. Everything that isn't Lorne. The love his brothers and sisters would shower on this guy because they would be so happy. It's easier to accept someone into your life when they are successful. They're not a danger. They're not a loser. They don't have to worry about you being the creepy uncle buying them shorts for your daughters. Think about all the stories of Xavier and everything else in between. And all this guy's doing is trying to get pictures. Tell me a little something about my family tree. Fucking Uncle Clay. I mean, he may get some information about Uncle Clay and the history of the trailer and his brothers and sisters. And put it this way, I got a cousin who has a friend in California who has a 4.0 GPA. Okay? How many stories he would be told by Lorne that just went nowhere, that had no point, and how Lorne would constantly be trying to clarify, just expand on anything that he was talking about to try and save face that he wasn't a complete and total idiot. If the guy had a good vocabulary. What if Lorne was talking to a catfish? I want you to talk to my brother. He's a twin. She talks to him because Lorne would want to use the twin as some kind of in with the catfish, and he starts using big language. And she really takes to him. And she starts to tell Lorne, oh, he is great, he's wonderful, he's this and he's that. Well, no, you should have seen him. He looks dumpy, he's smelly. You know what would happen? Everyone who saw this guy would light up. Lorne went into town, the woman he creeped on at the gas station would look at him and go, oh, hey, how are you? Really nice, trusting, didn't get a creepy vibe. But Lorne, the after effects, he would go back up there and he would think that she was going to act the same way to him now that that guy is gone, which she probably would immediately realize was a mistake to be nice to somebody in his presence. What an interesting concept it would be if he did have that twin. And I wondered if I had a twin out there. People have gone up to this one guy in Frankfurt and talked to him for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, as if he was me. So I started to think, maybe I'm having blackouts. Maybe they really are talking to me. Maybe I'm working 2 jobs. But people have gone up to him and talked to him as if he was me. So I wondered, I'm adopted. Is that my half-brother? Do I have a twin brother? Because I was given up for adoption. And on my adoption papers, there's no information except for my mom's name. So I have wondered. I mean, we all kind of have. What if we have a secret twin? Those people you read about that did an image search and it came up and they're like, oh my God. And they find out that they were actually separated at birth. It is built in our DNA to search for similar people, to enjoy looking at our children and seeing ourselves in them, to know that our bloodline is being passed on. And the point I'm making is, Lorne's mom would be thinking, you know, my name is going to be passed on. Those are my two grandkids right there. She would be doting on them probably immediately. Well, I don't know about her. I don't know how she really is. I'm not 100% sure. She may be a terrible person. I don't know. We only know what we're told. And when it comes to the Armstrong family, it's all bullshit. But to look at Lorne's twin and say, well, the legacy's going to carry on. And I was successful. That other turd I shut out was not a steaming pile like Lorne. Because we know that Lorne, or anyone that looks like him, would have shot out of her ass and not the other one. And Lorne at birth would probably be like, put me back in, this is the only vagina I'm ever going to touch. Moving on. We all have a desire to see ourselves, to look at our kids, to look at our parents, our cousins, to know that we're not alone. And if we are alone, I only have one sister left. My cousins are spread out. I keep up with them every once in a while, you know, on social media. Life is just crazy. But if I had nobody, I would go looking for groups, which is why I don't understand why Lorne doesn't take his ass out and look for support groups with people who would want to talk to him, who would definitely welcome him, because they're all broken in there themselves. But for his mom to look and say, that face right there, that's what Lorne should have been like all along. What a blessing it would be for his mom, and what a disaster it would be for Lorne to look at himself. I'm going to leave you with this. If you have a child, or you have a spouse, or somebody that's always arguing, that wants to just show up at your house and they just want to pick a fight, I have something you can do, because I've done it to my son. When my son gets argumentative, one time he was really animated, so I said, hold on. And in place of me on a chair, I put a mirror. And I said, go ahead, tell him. I guess looking in the mirror at himself, understanding that if that was him sitting over there and he had to listen to what he was spouting, there's no way he would tolerate it. And Lorne spouting that at his mirror image, he would have to understand, he would have to see the version of himself that he knew would never put up with the bullshit that is his life, would never believe any of the bullshit that he's spouting. So try that. Put a mirror in front of him and say, now tell that person. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you in the next one.